So back in 1995, there was this anime called Neon Genesis Evangelion. It was the story about humanity's fight against a terror coming from deep space that threatened to wipe everything out. Aside from the story being very large in scope, it was also very personal as well. There was lots of focus on the characters' inner lives, their fears and desires, and time and again, the personal was linked with the universal. When the climax rolled around, the producers realized that they didn't have a lot of money left in their budget, so the creator was forced to rewrite the ending. The final battle wasn't on the universal level, but the personal level. There was no gigantic fight with explosions and stellar animation. It was very basic. In a lot of ways it tied into the rest of the story, thematically, philosophically, etc. Naturally, fans hated this ending. They were so let down by it. Where was the fighting? Where was the fan service? They wrote death threats to the creator and to the production company, so the creator sat back and said, "You want a new ending? Fine, we'll give it to you." And 2 years later, they released a movie called The End of Evangelion. For all the fans who desired action, the favorite characters were brutalized and disemboweled and murdered horribly in great detail. For all those who wanted sexy fan service, we were treated immediately with a really disturbing scene of someone masturbating shamefully over a comatose body. The new ending did provide some real closure, though it also upset some people. Some people were like, I prefer the ending where everyone just talks about their feelings now that I think of it. And now we have Mass Effect 3. I won't say the ending is universally hated, but the hate runs so deep in some people that it almost counts as the hate of multiple people. There are already petitions demanding a new ending to Mass Effect 3. So will BioWare make their End of Evangelion? Let's compare Mass Effect and Evangelion first. Battle for humanity's survival, battles of universal consequence, intensely detailed characters with complicated relationships, and endings where you're just kind of told what happens. I think Mass Effect 3's ending is shittier than Evangelion's ending. Though created by many people, Evangelion was basically the vision of one man. Hideaki Anno, the director. Everything that happens in the story comes from his mind. There is a cohesiveness throughout the series as a result. The original Evangelion ending focuses mainly on the ruined lives of the characters. It goes into great detail about how they can't connect to other people, how they're weak or insecure, how they may or may not matter. Even though this ending is just these guys sitting in chairs and talking about their feelings, it's at least consistent with the rest of the series. Even amongst all the fighting, all the giant robot battles, all the gratuitous fan service, these characters disconnect from each other. There's a growing sense of dread and discomfort. Even if the ending doesn't make sense logically, it makes sense emotionally in a way. Mass Effect 3's ending doesn't quite have the same consistency. The major complaint with the endings in Mass Effect 3 is that they're all the same. All of a sudden your choices don't matter at all. Even though your Shepard was a really nice guy, some asshole Dick Shepard who had everyone killed is going to be offered the same options as you. And that asshole Dick Shepard isn't going to have the option to say, well, screw it. He would either punch the Star Child in the face or he'd just sit there and watch the Reapers kill everyone because what's the point? I thought for a second that maybe your lack of choice is the point of the ending. That despite everything, destruction and rebirth is inevitable. But BioWare's writers are smart. They could have found better ways to do that. Imagine your confrontation with the elusive man. He has you under his indoctrination spell. Your little dialogue wheel comes up with all the things you could say to him. And no matter what you choose, something different comes out of your mouth. Like you're being indoctrinated. You're losing your choice. It would be helpful if there was something in the gameplay that supported this idea. A bunch of games have done this already. Braid, Shadow of the Colossus, Snake Eater, Silent Hill. But nah, it's just kind of like, here you go. The moral of the story is never choice doesn't matter. To me, the moral is take Earth back. Unification. The universe demands diversity, just like Morden says. And considering all the details that go into all of your other big decisions, on the Krogan homeworld, on the Quarian homeworld, there are huge differences between the consequences to your actions. They're clearly capable of this kind of thought, but for whatever reason, the ending didn't require that kind of thought. And like, even if Evangelion's ending was lame and obtuse, it still made sense in a way. Even if you didn't know all the answers, you knew what the whole story meant. Mass Effect 3, I'm like, it's a happy ending or not? Like, my friends are inevitably gonna die. Someone's gonna be allergic to the food on that planet they crash on. But then like years later, they're talking about Commander Shepard. Like, who is that? How do they even know what Commander Shepard did? So what happens now? I think it's ridiculous that so many people are asking for the ending to be changed. At the same time, I'd really love to see what happens if the fans actually get what they want. What's BioWare gonna do? Are they gonna make the Penny Arcade ending where Shepard gets Krogan cake at the end? Or are they gonna make the End of Evangelion? Would the new ending be an apology or a big middle finger to all the people who didn't like the old ending? Will BioWare make a new ending? Hey, if they could charge $10 for it, why not? Oh, for all you anime fans who watch Gurren Lagann and are playing Mass Effect 3 right now, get ready to be so pissed at that last scene.